Alright, so on page 8 in your notes, we're going to do 3 examples here. The first 2, you're given the slope, and then you're given a point that's on the graph. And then in the last one, you're just given 2 points, so you're not given anything. You're not given slope, you're not given y-intercept. So, the steps we're going to do, okay, to write the equation of a line, first you need to find the slope, then you need to find the y-intercept, then you need to find the y-intercept, then you plug it into the formula y equals mx plus b. Okay, so the first part is finding the slope, but if you see, this actually made it easy for us. It said slope of 3. So the first part is already done. The slope is 3. Now in the second part, y-intercept, it doesn't give us the y-intercept at all. Okay, so here's the problem. So far we have the equation y equals mx plus b. We have the slope of 3. But we need to find b. What else does the problem give us? It gives us a point on the line. So I'm actually going to use that. So we see we have 1 is x and 5 is y. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite this equation, and since I have y and x, I'm going to plug them in. So we see we had y is 5, so I plugged that in for y, and x is 1. So I plugged 1 in for x. And now if you look, this is an equation that we can solve. So I'm going to go ahead and do the multiplication. Okay, 3 times 1 gives us 3. And then how would I solve this equation for b? I got to subtract 3 from both sides. So we get our final answer, b equals 2. So now we have the slope, we have the y-intercept. Now all we have to do is plug them into the formula, and this is the part you know how to do. So y equals slope x plus b, y equals 3x plus 2. And don't forget to plug them back in at the end. I know a lot of people get to b, and they're like, yeah, I did it, I'm done. But don't forget, this is your final answer. You have to plug it back into the equation. So we're actually going to do that again, same type of problem, okay? Write the equation of a line that goes through 6, negative 1 and has a slope of 1/2. So first thing we need to do is find the slope. And as we see, the problem actually made our lives really easy. It gave us the slope. Okay, so what is the slope of the line? That's 1/2. Okay, so the slope is 1/2. Now what's the next thing we do? We're going to find the y-intercept. So we already have our equation, y equals 1/2 x plus b. What do we do now? Remember from before, we plug in x and we plug in y. Okay, so we have x, we have y. We're going to plug them in. So instead of y, what am I going to write? I'm going to write negative 1. Instead of x, what am I going to write? I'm going to write 6. So I'm plugging them in. Okay, so instead of x, I wrote 6. Instead of y, I wrote negative 1. And now let's solve. Do the multiplication. What's 1/2 times 6? It's going to give me 3. And how do I solve this equation? I got to subtract 3 from both sides, and I get b equals negative 4. And now don't forget the last step. You got to plug it into the formula. So y equals mx plus b. What's m? It's 1/2. What's b? Negative 4. So y equals 1/2 x minus 4 because it's negative 4. Don't put plus negative 4. Okay, just put minus 4. And that's our final answer. All right. Now, the last one. Write the equation of a line that passes through the points 1, 2, and 5, 10. Here's the thing. 2 points define a line. So as soon as we have 2 points, we can figure out the equation. There's just a lot of work we have to do. We follow the same process as we did above. Okay, so what's the first thing we did in these problems up here? We found the slope. Okay, we found the slope. But here's the problem. Does this example give us the slope? No. But we do know how to find the slope if we're given 2 points, right? Remember the slope formula? y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. We have to do that now. So if you do y2 minus y1, that's 10 minus 2. x2 minus x1, that's 5 minus 1. And now we're just going to simplify that equation. So what's 10 minus 2? It's 8. 5 minus 1 is 4. What's 8 divided by 4? 2. So we found the slope, which is 2. So in this problem, it wasn't just given to us like examples 2 and 3. We had to actually go back to the slope formula we learned on the first day of this chapter and figure it out. Now the second thing, what's the second thing we do when we find the equation of a line? We find the y-intercept. Okay? Remember what we do when we find the y-intercept? Well, we have the point y equals 2x plus b so far. But here's the thing. We can choose any point we want. Okay? So which point, the thing is up above we've only had 1 point, but here we have 2 points. So which point do you want to use to plug in for x and y? I mean, I'm going to do 1 and 2, just because those numbers are smaller, and usually, you know, when you have 1 and 2, they're easier to work with than like 5 and 10. But if you choose 5 and 10, and you plug in 5 for x and 10 for y, you will still get the same answer. So it doesn't matter what point you choose. So I'm going to choose 1 and 2. Okay, remember 1 was our x, 2 was our y. And I'm going to use that to solve for b. So I multiply, and now how would I solve this equation? I subtract 2 from both sides, so then b equals what? B equals 0. And then I'm going to plug it into the formula. So what's my formula going to be? It's going to be y equals 2x plus 0, but remember we don't have to write plus 0, so please simplify that. It's just y equals 2x, and then you're done. So try the your turn part and come check your answers to make sure that you understand what's going on.